brain.
I'll turn it on. And we select a frequency, which I usually go to 528. Oops, I passed it. 528 is considered the healing frequency. And I'll talk about another frequency later. And then I will turn on the lights, but first I'll explain this. This is a sensing plate, and I have 2 magnesium tablets on it now. Many homeopathic practitioners will put a homeopathic remedy here. This plate senses the essence of it, the actual frequency. Yeah, exactly. It senses the frequency, translates that into this plate, which you can put your bottled water on. It also translates it into the bed. It's the person on the bed.
Right. Oh.
So now I'll explain the bed. This is basically just a massage table. Underneath it, you will see a black box. Can you kind of crouch down and show it? It's just a big black plastic box put as close to the table as possible.
Okay.
It is a giant coil, Tesla coil.
Okay.
It's like a spool of thread, but it's copper coil instead of thread. These are the noble lights that you're seeing on either side, head and foot. And the noble lights are made of argon, neon, and helium.
Okay.
This is creating a plasma electric field on this table. It's kind of doing a figure 8.
But then you got this. Is this the same?
This is something different. It's a light therapy. I don't use it. I mean, I just keep it on all the lights because they're all good for us. But there are some actual therapies you can do by using particular.
So that's not actually part of the bed.
It's just kind of an extra. That
extra. Okay, I didn't know that.
It's an extra. Come on, prove to me something's happening. But this electromagnetic field, here is plain old fluorescent lights out of our storage. Can you see it light up? Is it showing it on the camera?
Yeah.
So if I take it out of the field, see,
Nothing.
it's nothing. So this is proving that
And
there's
it
an
is
electromagnetic
going through you.
going right through whoever is going to be on this table.
Yeah, well, first of all, our modern scientists say that over 90% of the universe is plasma electrical energy field, and we're part of that creation, so if a person gets a scratch on their arm, well, immediately nature takes over and begins to heal up that scratch. And that scratch can represent other problems in your body. And the bottom line is, if it doesn't heal up, has a hard time doing that, the bottom line is the lack of cellular communication.
And she's going to explain this, I call it a pre-med bed. It's a med bed prototype, wouldn't you say?
Yes, they call it the Tesla table.
Okay, so it's a Tesla table. This is the brain.
I'll turn it on. And we select a frequency, which I usually go to 528. Oops, I passed it. 528 is considered the healing frequency. And I'll talk about another frequency later. And then I will turn on the lights, but first I'll explain this. This is a sensing plate, and I have 2 magnesium tablets on it now. Many homeopathic practitioners will put a homeopathic remedy here. This plate senses the essence of it, the actual frequency. Yeah, exactly. It senses the frequency, translates that into this plate, which you can put your bottled water on. It also translates it into the bed. It's the person on the bed.
Right. Oh.
So now I'll explain the bed. This is basically just a massage table. Underneath it, you will see a black box. Can you kind of crouch down and show it? It's just a big black plastic box put as close to the table as possible.
Okay.
It is a giant coil, Tesla coil. It's like a spool of thread, but it's copper coil instead of thread. These are the noble lights that you're seeing on either side, head and foot. And the noble lights are made of argon, neon, and helium. This is creating a plasma electric field on this table. It's kind of doing a figure 8.
But then you got this. Is this the same?
This is something different. It's a light therapy. I don't use it. I mean, I just keep it on all the lights because they're all good for us. But there are some actual therapies you can do by using particular.
So that's not actually part of the bed.
It's just kind of an extra.
Extra. Okay, I didn't know that.
It's an extra. Come on, prove to me something's happening. But this electromagnetic field, here is plain old fluorescent lights out of our storage. Can you see it light up? Is it showing it on the camera?
Yeah.
So if I take it out of the field, see,
Nothing.
it's nothing. So this is proving that
there's
an electromagnetic
going through you,
going right through whoever is going to be on this table.
Yeah, well, first of all, our modern scientists say that over 90% of the universe is plasma electrical energy field, and we're part of that creation, so if a person gets a scratch on their arm, well, immediately nature takes over and begins to heal up that scratch. And that scratch can represent other problems in your body. And the bottom line is, if it doesn't heal up, has a hard time doing that, the bottom line is the lack of cellular communication.
and she's going to explain this. I call it a pre-med bed. It's a med bed prototype, wouldn't you say?
Yes, they call it the Tesla table.
Okay, so it's a Tesla table. This is the brain.
I'll turn it on, and we select a frequency, which I usually go to 528. Oops, I passed it. 528 is considered the healing frequency, and I'll talk about another frequency later. And then I will turn on the lights, but first I'll explain this. This is a sensing plate, and I have 2 magnesium tablets on it now. Many homeopathic practitioners will put a homeopathic remedy here. This plate senses the essence of it, the actual frequency. Yeah, exactly. It senses the frequency, translates that into this plate, which you can put your bottled water on. It also translates it into the bed. It's the
Hey y'all, this is Tressie and this is The Trek. Yep, yes sir, yes ma'am, and we are y'all. All together we are y'all. Did you get your cup yet? Because we're running out, just so you know. Okay, so something about how the water tastes better in that cup. Yeah. Just teasing. All right, so we're talking about Tesla, and we have a scientist here and an RN who are going to blow your mind to what's available now, folks, so you don't have to put your health on hold and wait for the med beds, because it could be a little slow wait because of the lineup, right? So we're going to buy 6 of these for the healing center. As fast as we can get them. I hope they reserve them for us so we can get them quick, because this is the bed. they call it a Tesla table, of course. I feel, and maybe they can correct me, it seems like a medbed prototype or like the same principle. And this is what I have the privilege of getting on once a month or more. When I've had injuries and different issues, my friend has invited me to come and get on more often. But my favorite thing to do is put it on 963 hertz, the God frequency, because I figure in God is all healing anyway. So why go to a healing frequency when God is the healer? So that's what I do. And then I put 963 hertz music on, and I also do the spinal fluid balancing during all of that and the essential oil inhalation. And I am in the spirit realm, in the presence of God in less than 5 minutes. It's like instant. And in that place, I hear direction. I feel, the peace of God and his love and all kinds of like even insight on the future and what's going on. I get understanding in that place, in the God frequency. So you can put it on anything that you want. And I'm hoping we hear more about that light that was over the middle of the table, because I don't know anything about it. I have believed in Tesla frequency products for a long time. And right now I have, as my footstool, I have my foot on a Tesla can, and maybe they can explain that more too. And I also had one by my bed. And so it's amazing technology. And I'm so excited to have our guests with us tonight. All right. And so I'm going to take a back seat and let them run with it. And I'm going to invite Jay in, and then he's going to introduce our guests.
Hey guys, we're having some technical difficulties. What's up, guys? All right, welcome. You're looking beautiful tonight, Tracy.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I like your background there. That's my old house I used to live at.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Yeah. We have I'm excited about the show. I hope you guys enjoyed that beginning video. It's just some amazing.
That was a good job, Jay. I love that.
Some technology that's coming and that's been hidden for probably a while that they weren't letting us be healed. So, all right, let's introduce our guests. Would you like to do the bio first? We can do a bio first if you want.
Go ahead.
All right, well, let's do the bio right here. Paul, how do you say last name? I didn't even ask him.
Esch.
Sorry, Esch. Okay. Paul Esch is a designer, inventor, and manufacturer of biogenetic instruments for over 40 years. Since 1980, he is the director of Vital Creations, a company dedicated to helping the body transform itself. His intense research of Tesla, Beck, Rife, Vol, and others are the foundation for his inventions. They are in use by chiropractors, doctors, veterinarians, neuropaths, and a host of bioenergetic therapists, with the instruments currently being used over 40 countries. There's a lot of big words in here. I'm not a doctor. Okay? Paul used frequency in combination with light, sound, and color in myriad of applications, including cold lasers, terahertz Rife machines, and Tesla coils. His most recent invention is called the Tesla Wellness Table, which generates a plasma electromagnetic field and helps the body to reestablish cellular communication so that the body can naturally restore itself. Awesome. Paul has an engaging, positive attitude, woohoo, and his passion for helping people includes a ministry and music as part of his spiritual journey. The letters EFC stand for the words repeated time and again about Paul's wonderful gatherings. EFC is energy, frequency, and celebration. All right. So I guess let's bring him on. Whoa. Let me take this off there. All right, there we go.
There we go.
Hi.
Hey, Paul and Cheryl, thank you so much for coming. And I have been a believer in the Rife machines and all of that for a long time. So this is exciting. I want to hear everything. So who's going to go first?
Oh, well.
How did this come about?
Ladies first.
Oh.
Well, I'm the medical background person, 45-year RN, and so I'm sorry for all those big words.
Okay.
But Paul has been doing these bioenergetic devices for 40 years. And we just learned a couple days ago from one of his distributors that his devices are actually in 109 countries around the world.
Woo. Wow.
This practitioner is working mostly with autistic children and helping them regain their speech and things like that. And he's been marketing his devices all over the place, and we had no idea it was. We thought it was 40 countries, and we found out when we talked to her a couple of days ago. No, it's in 109 countries. So,
Wow.
his stuff is out there, but we have to fly under the radar a little bit. We don't want to, stick our necks out too much. But I think that this is the time that we have been waiting for, to bring forth this technology to see human consciousness with the notion of free energy and self-healing and using God's beautiful nature that we have within us to self-restore. So, Paul, why don't you talk?
Yeah, well, my parents were Mennonites, and so I was brought up through the Christian Bible, and it even says where the Creator said, "I will give you witty inventions." And I'm going, okay, well, there must be a purpose for it, and it's I like to call the table the ascension table for the ascension light to expand through every cell of your body and get the body to come up into its original state of being, light being that we are,
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
We have it set on 963 right now. So, Tressie, you had us laughing when you were talking about always using that frequency, because we have the God frequency on right now, too.
Very nice. All right. So tell us your history and how this came to pass.
Yeah. I was in back in '72. I was in Dallas, Texas, and doing a music ministry. And there I met a man from Germany that was doing German electroacupuncture, measuring acupuncture, the meridians, and by evaluating that, he can tell what was going on in the body. And so a light came on in my mind. And so, oh, that's really interesting. And so he had some equipment there from England, and that intrigued me too. So that's how I got started back in 1980. I built my first device, and it's in Atlanta, Georgia. And a couple years ago, I went to the therapist there that had that device, and he was still using it. And I'm going, I should have rented that thing to you instead of selling it to you. But anyway, as the last 4 or 5 years, people have been after me to make a Tesla, the vertical Tesla tower, because they knew that I could make it more reasonable in price. And I kept turning them down because I didn't want to copy anybody else's work. But then after I thought about it, I said, well, I'll add a few other things to it that'll make it so much different than what else is out there. And I said, I don't think Tesla would mind. And so I had quite a few of the vertical ones out there, and the therapists, they just loved it. And they said they had the most results by having 2 Tesla towers and have the person in between. And so I got to thinking, well, if you have a horizontal Tesla tower, then you would have like 2 outputs. And if you show the picture with the Tesla tower in plexiglass,
Okay.
I can
fly.
show you.
Tables, the table with the
Tables. Okay, tables. This one. All right, that one.
Yeah. So the bottom picture there is the 34-inch Tesla tower that's laying horizontal. And that way you have 2 outputs. And so if you put a person in between those 2 outputs, and that's what's happening on the top picture there, just showing you a light bulb as being the human body. The human body is a light bulb. And so by being in that field, it's like a concentrated miniature universe. In fact, our modern scientists would tell you that over 90% of the makeup of the universe is plasma electrical energy. And so by putting your body, the physical body, into that field, it amplifies the light energy in the cells of the body, so the cells can reestablish cellular communication. And that's where the body automatically begins to restore itself. And the Tesla tower, if you look at the middle of it, we have a 12-pointed star that is the primary coil, and that's where we put the frequency in there to energize the field. And so the long Tesla tower actually creates that the field. This thing going like this, yeah, like the
PEMF toroidal field. About 360 degrees, comes back through the center point, which they call the 0 point. And it extends about 3 feet out from the center point. So you'll get about a 6-foot field of radius of that energy all around the Tesla coil.
And so by putting healthy frequencies into that coil, the coil also acts like a radio antenna. So you're treating your whole neighborhood.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that the table doesn't do any treatment or any kind of therapy, but it does like one big giant tuning fork. It aligns the body to restore itself, and but also the expansion of light that takes place. It's like the deep-seated negative emotions can't hide anymore. It comes to the surface and gets repolarized and transformed and brings you into that peaceful state. And you have a lot to say about that.
I do. What I bring to the table is understanding how our electromagnetic bodies work and why putting them in this field really can help restore you. Jay, if you would find this,
okay,
and put it on the screen, and I'm not going to read it, but since I wrote it, I know what it says pretty much. The components here are unique. Paul's table is unlike anything else that's out there on the market. There are plasma type med beds that they've been around for a good long while and they're very effective, but they just have a Tesla coil and plasma lights of noble gases on either end of the table, and that's what they are, and that's the plasma med bed. But Paul just can't stop there. he added other components like a Rife machine and it's programmable, and you can even plug it into your computer and run pre-sequenced frequencies for targeting any type of condition at all, whether it might be cancer or Crohn's disease, or even psychological problems and things like bipolar disorder. Or you can select frequencies for joy and for your spiritual connection to your source. And you can choose any frequency you want, or any combination of frequencies. You can pulse them. You can do a sweep where you get 2,000 frequencies at a 30-second interval, and then the frequencies come back down the scale after the following 30 seconds, and that repeats continuously throughout the time you're on the table. So you're getting all of those frequencies plus one that you've programmed in to run continuous. In addition to the Rife component and the plasma energy, and let me back up, the lights create 500,000 volts of energy, and one will assume a positive polarity, the other a negative, and that goes straight through from one light set to the other at the ends of the table, and your body is in that field. And that's why that light bulb, when it lights up, it's telling you that the ambient electrical current in that field is so powerful that that fluorescent bulb will light up without even being plugged in. And your body is absorbing all of that electricity. And that's ionizing your body. And I'll talk about what that means and why it helps your body to self-restore in just a second. But there's other components to his table. You saw the chromotherapy strip, and that's LED lights with the that correspond to your chakra system. And that has healing energies associated with each of the colors. And this is an ancient therapy. It goes back to Egypt, if not before, that you can use colors for healing. And then it has an ability to plug sound in, and you can have music running through this system. And also a vibrational component. It is an optional addition that will vibrate you at whatever hertz, like 432. You can lay there and absorb frequencies vibrationally, like a massage table, at 432 hertz, or whatever you have it programmed to. You can even use, your YouTube and play music that has certain frequencies for healing. So it has a whole lot of uses like that. And then an input and output. I'll let you talk about that later, about the homeopathic stuff. But when you ionize your body and put it in that powerful electromagnetic field, ionizing makes your components in your blood line up single file. And PEMF has been proven without a shadow of a doubt to do that. It makes all the traps go away, so that when it gets down into the microcirculation, it flies right through, because it's single file. And so the blood flow is enhanced, and you get better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the tissues because of the improvement in the blood flow. And then when you ionize the lymphatic fluid, that's draining toxins and metabolites away from the tissues. After, cellular metabolism takes place, you have to get rid of those toxins. And that is also enhanced and removed more efficiently when it's ionized and everything is in single file. It drains better. So this table will naturally detoxify you, as well as enhance the blood flow and increase oxygen and nutrient delivery. And when you put all of these components together, you're going to, what Paul said before about the state of mind, you go into a theta brainwave pattern, which is a slow rhythmic state, like when you're dropping off to sleep. or when you first awaken in the morning and you're very calm and you don't have strong emotions, you just have a peaceful wellness about you. That theta pattern is necessary for your body to enter a homeostasis state and feel relaxed and go into what they call parasympathetic metabolism. And that is where you begin to self-restore, and it communicates with the cells to tell them to look for problems and go about fixing them, generate new stem cells, create new blood vessels, repair tissue damage wherever it's needed, to balance the hormones. All of these things are restorative, and you have to be in homeostasis for those things to take place. And so you have to have that calm brain pattern to get into parasympathetic metabolism so that it will self-restore. So the table is really critical for establishing that homeostasis, and it's one of the wonderful things about why it works so well. And then also the ability to make the cells communicate clearly without any static interference. I want Paula to talk a little bit about the use of the plates, and then maybe explain a little about 5G after that.
I had made several trips over to Germany, and they're many times they're so much more advanced than us when it comes to bioenergetic instruments. And so many years ago, the therapists over here in the States, they were sending me German equipment to be repaired because they didn't want to get it caught up in customs to ship it back to Germany.
Oh, I know about customs. I know about customs in the military. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so I got to solve their technology where they had a device that would sense the like an inflamed kidney, the pathological disturbed energy patterns, and sometimes I call them beaver dams, and then it would take that energy and run it through these filters and then send it back into the body as a balanced state of energy. And so seeing that technology, I went and put that into the module to run the table.
Wow.
So even while you're laying on the table, we have there's an antenna that I call it the feedback antenna that will pick up any disturbed energy patterns in the body and sends it through the module and actually makes up the homeopathic remedy that would be the antidote for whatever's going on in your body. I call it the Formula U because it's made out of your beaver dams and blockages. And so that technology is in that module.
Water will hold that memory of those frequencies, and so when you drink it after you've had the therapy or the time on the table, it's like having more time on the table. I mean, it's those same frequencies that you're getting, and so you can take it with you on the go. Yeah. With the energies all combining, most of it's in hertz, some of it's in Gauss, but all of these energies go into that toroidal field. Again, it's like a donut. The image was on the description of the Tesla wellness table. That image where it has the center point where all the energies come back into the middle, but then the plasma energy comes in and it gets swirled around like ripples in a pond. And then you have Rife frequencies coming in and it gets swirled around it within the toroidal field. And so does the music, and so does the color lights. So it's light and sound energies, and they're combining inside of that PEMF field, and that creates a quantum entanglement. So it's really quantum physics we're dealing with, and quantum means like the smallest part of anything, and then it all gets mingled together. And all of these components are hardwired together. Paul has made it integrated so that it's not just like playing music over in the corner and you hear it in, your periphery. It's hardwired into one system, and it really creates that quantum entanglement that is, I think, the secret to why this is just so powerful. And then you use your thoughts, which are frequencies. We measure them. It's called an EEG. And you can see the waves and you can measure what your brainwave pattern is. And those are frequencies. And you use your intentions of the healing that you desire to create while on this table. And you have the power to control the outcome. And when you go onto the table and wish to do a meditation and you put in that 963, you can hear the answers back to your prayers then. It takes you to a whole other level. People who have extra abilities like clairvoyance, my gosh, they can project themselves up into a higher frequency and go into source field like almost instantly with devices like this. It's amazing, the energy that you feel and the connectedness to source. And then again, with what it does in the body, we have some incredible testimonials. Paul, talk about some of the people that have had incredible results from this.
The thing that thrills me the most is where people are, things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. It's like, what do they say? Water off a duck's back or something like that, And even the other day, we had someone that was laying on the table said, man, I don't feel, my son at times irritates me, but he hasn't irritated me when he was shocking me on the table. But anyway, it's like an emotional and mental healing, balancing that takes place. And then we have some, the table system now is this July will be 2 years, and we have about 50 of them out there, and therapists are just really giving us incredible feedback on some of the results that are taking place. And although we can't make any claims, I like to call the table is like one big whole body tuner. It just tunes you up to who you really are. I like being in action.
Well, let me give you a real specific case. Again, disclaimer, we cannot say that the table did anything other than to restore cellular communication, put the person in homeostasis, and let the body do what it does to self-restore. But there was a person who had Parkinson's, and he was very advanced and hunched over, shaking like this in a shuffle gait and nonverbal, with two people helping him to walk. He was resting on the table for 15 minutes. And when he decided to get up on his own power, he walked out into the main room where the demonstration was still going on, and he spoke. He stood up straight and walked on his own power. And he said, this is the first time I stopped shaking in 4 years. It was a mic drop moment, and his wife had not heard him speak in a long time. And to see him standing up, walking, talking was just profound. It was a miracle. And his symptoms did return, and it took about 4 days for the symptoms to come back. So this is not a once and done. It's not a cure at all. It is a maintenance to keep your homeostasis and your balance at its baseline resting state, so that your body does what it's supposed to do. And so for inflammation and demyelinating problems, it seems to really have a profound impact. And I can't imagine what that would mean for your quality of life when you get your speech back. I mean, just that alone is incredible. So I'm just saying that the events that occurred, and not making claims, but that's what happened. So take it as you will. We have quite a lot of people who are using their table to help people who have cancer, and they're going, continuing with their therapy with the doctors and whatnot. But in a lot of cases, within 3 to 12 weeks, right? 3 weeks was the fastest we've seen. They had no detectable cancer. Had other therapies going on, so we can't say that this table made all the difference, but it certainly didn't hurt. And it's certainly a good alternative, or an adjunct to conventional therapy. If you're trying to treat something really serious, you can look for other options. And these technologies are here today. We don't need to wait for med beds, because we really actually do have a med bed.
Yeah. The other exciting thing too is after a person has been on the table for several weeks, and like this one person said, I was walking the beach and thinking, oh, I need another session on the table. And all of a sudden he started to feel elevated and lifted up. And he goes, oh, well, I am the Tesla coil. I am the table, the Tesla wellness table. And so it was like a cellular memory that was coming forth and bringing the elevation that he was feeling, that, oh, well, I don't even need the table. I am the table. And so,
doesn't that sound familiar? You are a walking med bed. Somebody said that before. I don't know who that was.
Oh, yeah. So these witty inventions are really to remind you who you are, and that I was up in Virginia demonstrating a small curly bulb that had a Tesla coil in it, and this lady had swollen legs, ankles, and after using it for about 10-15 minutes, around 80 to 90% of it went down. And I thought for sure she was going to buy an instrument, and she goes, I got in tune with the instrument. I don't need the instrument because I am the instrument,
There is someone who's using their frequency to restore their health.
And I said, you got it, lady. I said, these are just stepping stones. These are just training wheels to get us to where we can do it without the equipment.
Jumpstart. You just jumpstart her like a battery. Yeah.
And I just want to say, we need a jump start, don't you think? I mean, after all they've done to us, all that the damage that has been done, it needs to be undone, and then the body relearn how to be in alignment, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And one of the, by your words, you can heal yourself. By your words, you're lifted up. And one of the statements is, I am the expansion of light within every cell of my body, and so I have people repeat that. I am the expansion of light within every cell of my body. And that automatically begins to expand that healing or restorative energy. And
I like to say that we are Captain Marvel. Don't you think that movie is valid for right now, that it's teaching us that we're made of light? We are truly Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it seems like as we rise in consciousness, the instruments also arise to match our a greater awareness. And
wow.
So all these things that are happening upon this planet. You can say how awful it is, but I'm saying, well, if there's a fire, let me become the fire. Then that fire won't hurt me because I am the fire, So the 5G comes to destroy, and I'm going, well, God, I am the 5G too, so I can just flow through it without being harmed.
Transmute it.
So,
when we don't pray for what we don't want, right? You pray for where your attention goes and your focus goes is what the universe brings to you. So, always use your intentions in all of this, and it becomes part of the quantum entanglement, which is why it's in the hands of a healer and someone who understands these principles. It has even more power, I think. I want to talk about 5G a little bit. 5G is so damaging. It's in the gigahertz. It's 60 gigahertz range. Then they're pulsing it for 12 hours a night on us. And they have, graphs that they've been able to show that they're systematically doing this throughout the country. And there was no buy-in. There was no FCC approval required for them to just roll this out because it was economically too lucrative for them to not do it. And they just railroaded over everybody's rights and objections and all the town halls that they held. We didn't get a say-so in any of this. And now we see that they're pulsing it and doing all kinds of things that cause harms. How does it harm us? There's quite a clear evidence that 5G at that gigahertz range, it causes your electrons to come out of balance at the atomic level. Your electrons can literally come out of their proper orbit, and in some cases have been shown to actually reverse their spin. And what does that do to your atoms and your cells? It's causing that signal to get bumped off the dial so that you don't have clear messaging between your body parts, between your cells, because that electrical balance has been disrupted by that high frequency of the 60 gigahertz range. So the other thing is that it can even cleave off electrons and rob you of your electrons and foul up your normal polarity. So it is causing all kinds of damage to our bodies and setting up a scenario where you're more susceptible to develop cancer and stressing your immune system to try and address all of these frequencies that are harmful. And some people get freaked out when we talk about the Tesla bed because they're afraid of frequency because of what 5G has put into everybody's head. But there's good and bad in everything. And these frequencies are healing. And they actually will reverse what the 5G is doing. PEMF is known to be an electron donor. So if you are depleted in your polarity, your body can absorb electrons from the PEMF field. So that is one way it can help restore your cellular communication. And then in addition, it causes the electrons to go back into their proper orbit and spin in the right direction, and that corrects the wobble. And so you do get like a fine tune on the radio. Your body starts playing like an orchestra. It's a beautiful symphony. And so it literally does negate the effects of 5G and puts your cells into communication so that your hormones will then go into their proper balance. And it, with the enhanced blood flow, increased oxygen and nutrient delivery, removal of toxins that occurs, all of these things factor together to help the body to reverse the underlying causes of many of the ills that we're faced with. And the frequency and the health concerns, all the toxins that they're putting into the air, food, and water. And so the table really does address all of these areas. It's a really comprehensive tool to help restore homeostasis, which is just your base resting state where your polarity is neutral and everything is working the way it was made to.
Yeah, I'd like to share with you, someone in Houston, Texas, bought one of my little devices, and he calls me up on the phone and he says, I'm really impressed with this device, but I'm more impressed with the angel that came with it. And so, like the 5G and all the crazy stuff that's going on, this is the statement I've been embracing for many years. I am the most intense violet flame blazing forth through my veins and penetrating through my brains. So the violet flame will transmute all that stuff. You know?
Right. That's right. Yeah, I'm seeing T-shirts. I'm seeing coffee cups. Come on, let's go. Hats. Yeah, get some hats. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're making a banner right now that says, say it with me, Paul. I am the expansion of light within every cell of my body.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, we were talking about that too a little bit before the show. We are talking about that, God, creator made a spark. Like we're pieces of light that kind of spark off of a sparkler. So we are that light, and that's why we have that energy in us. It's just over the years they lied to us and didn't let us know how beautiful we are as what we can be. So yeah, I agree 100% with this technology, and this it should have been out there many years ago for the veterans, for my brothers and sisters that have been suffering through wars and conflicts. And it's sad that it's coming out now, but we got to get that to every VA hospital, every soldier that's just every night having nightmares and seeing their friends get killed. So there's so much stuff going on that I can just see this technology is really going to help a lot of my brothers and sisters, and even me myself. So thank you very much.
So even after we've been on the med beds and we are completely well and we're younger and everything, we still need to maintain all of that. And I have heard that they want everyone to have some kind of device like this in their home for regular use. So this will just be a common thing. We have a room with one of these in it or something like it.
I know. I would love for Paul's inventions to be obsolete because the med beds are here. That, I'm not going to hold my breath until they arrive. We can start to do this now. And the longer you wait, the more damage that happens. So start now.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think that if people have the mistaken idea that the med bed is like a pill, so it's going to fix everything and then I can go live like I want to. And if you don't live a healthy lifestyle, you're going to develop problems again. You've got to maintain. And I just think that's a really smart idea.
Yeah, you can't keep taking the poison and expecting not to get sick again.
Yeah.
Right. Although they're probably going to cleanse out a lot of that. But
have you used a so while you're doing it or having somebody do it, have you used a thermal like you see ghost hunters use, like they use a thermal because you can see the heat and the vibration? Or I don't know if you've ever used that while someone was on the table, or I don't know if you could probably see the different temperatures, or no?
Well, we get a lot of feedback even today. The man was saying, "Oh, I feel sensations in my lower back." Well, he was having back problems, and like this one person said, "I feel a tingling in my throat." Then it went to my elbow. Then it went to my big toe. then it went up my side, and so that's kind of feedback that we're getting. But it'd
It's
be
like
very
toxins
interesting.
being released.
Yeah.
Things are getting loosened up. It goes into your circulation, and then of course your kidneys and your liver will have to filter those toxins. And so, like any other detox program that you would encounter, you need to increase your hydration to dilute your blood and ease the burden on your organs that have to do that filtering process. And here's a little magic bullet for you. As an ICU nurse, I had to detox people all the time. I took care of poisonings and overdoses, and I know a few tricks to help remedy people going through this acute detox, and that's activated charcoal. There's no more powerful binder. It takes everything out. It takes the vitamin C out of the orange you just ate, okay? And you're going to poop it out. It's going to hold it in your gut, and it's going to come straight out, and it's not going to go back into your bloodstream. It will not. And so if you're experiencing any kind of detox symptoms at all, and you have like a mild headache or a little malaise, you could take an activated charcoal and it'll bind that and hold it in your gut so it doesn't recirculate in the bloodstream to keep going through your kidneys and liver over and over until enough has been filtered out to relieve those symptoms. So you can expedite the whole process by just taking an activated charcoal and hydrating. That's about as troublesome as it might be, but you need to go through that detox to get back to your state of health.
Yeah, I believe in charcoal. I've used it so much, so often.
Simple, cheap, and it works better than anything.
Yeah. So do you put your bottle of water on the med bed or on the device and charge it and then drink it and then keep one going so that you're always drinking that?
Yeah, we have some therapists, before they have the client go on the table, they would take a glass of water, put it in the center of the table, and just energize it with like 528 for 1 minute. And then they have the client drink that, so they're hydrated, and then they lay on the table, and then they go through their different frequencies that they feel that client needs. And but we also have where therapists will energize their essential oils on the table. They say it works a whole lot better. The essential oils work a whole lot better once they're energized with this plasma energy.
Some of the people use their tables to structure water, and then they sell the structured water to people in their community. Yeah. And when you have water that's structured, it's ionized, right? You're hitting electromagnetic current into that water, and it's putting whatever is solid in the water into single file, just like ionizing your body. And so when the ionized water gets inside of you, it can easily pass through the cell membrane because all of the nanoparticles are lined up single file, and it can go through that cell membrane without obstruction because of that ionization process. That's what structured means. So it allows your body to get a higher hydration value out of the water you're drinking. It actually goes into your cells and hydrates you, as opposed to just circulating through and being passed out as urine and unused by the body. So it kind of makes your water wetter.
Cool. That's nice to know.
Yeah, in fact, we even have some farmers that will energize their seeds before they plant them, and they get a better harvest. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Explaining how you could put fruit like bananas onto the table and it won't spoil.
Yeah, even back in Tesla time, when he was running those big Tesla towers, his friends loved to be in his space because they felt so elevated and so lifted up, and a sense of well-being. And even the apples and oranges and bananas that were exposed to that field would not decay. Yeah, so maybe I should make a little refrigerator one you put in your refrigerator.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be good.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
So couldn't you do the same thing with the plant? Put the plant on for a certain amount of
Yes.
time a day and it would grow faster?
I put my dog's bed up on the table and let my dogs lay up there. And if we don't do that, my little chubby black dog goes under the table and lays right against the Tesla coil under the table while we're doing sessions. So
Can you
That'd be a good experiment with the plants. So we should try that.
yeah, we really
can you explain a little bit of the materials that's in that round cylinder? Is it copper? Does it have like what kind of metals?
Yeah, it's very thin, hair thin. What they call magnetic wire. It's coated, so when you wind it, it's not. They're all individual windings, and
Okay.
so on a 34-inch PVC pipe, you've got about 4,000 or a little more, 4,000 turns of this fine hair thin wire. And that's the secondary coil, and then the primary coil is a much heavier gauge wire, but we have about 4 wraps of shaped into a 12-pointed star, and
that's also coated copper.
Yeah, it's also coated copper, and the real magic about the star is it seems to use less energy. I don't have to have big heat sinks and fans to keep my driver cool, the module cool. You can run it 24/7 and without any a lot of heat being generated. And a lot of people that are making Tesla towers, they say, oh, you can only run this big Tesla tower for maybe a half hour to an hour, and then you got to let it cool down. And they got big fans blowing and big heat sinks to drive their coil because their coil is so short. But the star, it is quite something.
It dissipates that heat and it runs cool with it.
Yeah, that's energy, because energy makes heat. So if you keep going, it makes heat. So I understand.
Well, your smart TV uses more energy to operate than this whole system.
Wow.
It's amazing. And we were at a conference running the Tesla table from 8 in the morning until 6 at night for 4 straight days. We never shut it off. It never overheated.
Wow.
Yeah. I was up in Pennsylvania and did my first presentation at an Amish house, and he bought my first table. And they don't even have electricity. So,
but they don't believe in drugs either. So all of Paul's devices are treated with shungite. So there's no dirty electricity coming off of any of his models. It's right in the main control unit, and it neutralizes any negative EMFs that would come off of your electrical circuitry.
That's awesome.
So, the Amish people would call it dirty electricity. But the way they were doing it is they had a solar panel and then had batteries being charged, and then had a 300 watt, it was a small inverter, and it ran the whole table with less than 300 watts.
Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that great that his first table sale went to an Amish person?
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
And you know what they did? They said, well, if it's not taking that much energy, they took a drill that had a little battery pack to it, and they ran the table off of that little battery pack.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Yeah, because they come in like 12 or 18 volts or
18 volts,
Pretty creative,
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful. Wow. I had no idea it did all these things.
You
And
had
what
said,
about
go ahead.
that? Go ahead.
You had said something about the there's an update from the video that we showed in the beginning. Something
yeah.
about let me pull that up there so you can talk about that. I know you were talking about it.
Yeah,
There you
we
go.
made everything plexiglass so you can, so people don't touch the light bulbs and get a little static electric shock. You know, it's like walking across the carpet and you get a little shock. You know, or pulling clothes apart in the dryer and you get a shock. So the plexiglass keeps you from getting any shock.
So what do the light bulbs do? Like, so you got the thing underneath you, and then it goes to just kind of explain how like it's going to those lights or something.
Well, the ones at the head and the feet are noble gas lights, and we use those actually to slow down like a transformer so because if you didn't have the light bulbs there, it'd be sparking all over the place because those light bulbs are connected to the output of the big Tesla coil. So there's one, you know, the way this is set up is you have two outputs, one at each end of the coil, the 34-inch, 35-inch coil. And so those noble gas lights are connected to the outputs. And that's what's lighting up the noble gas lights. And it helps to create that toroidal
feeling.
It's a road feel.
Yeah, right. I have a hard time saying that, so I'll let her say it.
Yeah, I don't like them big words either.
Noble gases have frequencies that are known to be extremely healing, and they are used in medicine and have long been used. And they use noble gases in anesthesia to improve outcomes and enhance brain function, especially is one of the benefits of noble gases. And back in 1934, Royal Rife was using his Rife machine with argon, the neon gas argon, and he was curing 94% of cancers in the hospital in California.
Wow.
And then, of course, Rockefeller stepped in. They infiltrated his foundation, and they tried to take over his company, and they tried to declare him incompetent. And he fought them in court and won. However, it bankrupted him, and he lost his house and all of his, holdings, and he died penniless. And that's what has historically happened with all the great inventors, is that they find a way to shut you down. If they don't kill you, they will, murder your dog, or they'll, burn your business down, or confiscate all of your medical records and research, or destroy your equipment. It's equivalent to book burning, and they have suppressed this so hard. But now I'm finding I can put posts about it on Facebook, and it's staying up. It didn't used to.
Yep.
So something's changed.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the plan's already unfolding and that the heavy lifting's already been done, and they're going to tell us after it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's right. If the screen goes black right now, it's not me.
I
Okay?
know. I'll have to sign an NDA. So I'm talking.
Right. Did we already talk about the bar in the middle?
That there is just high intensity LED lights that are matched up with the red, orange, yellow, green, with the what they call the chakras, or the centers. I like to call them the centers.
Oh, right. That's right.
Centers in the body. And it produces the photon energy, so it's like being in the sunshine.
Well, the red light in the spectrum, you know what red light therapy does. You've heard of terahertz devices that have the blue light, and so the terahertz is part of that, but it has the full spectrum, and they all have frequency, and each of those frequencies have healing properties, just like your solfeggios on the musical scale 174 is the first note, and that is wonderful for pain and inflammation. And then you go up the scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And each of those musical notes has a frequency that has known healing properties that do different things. The 528 is one that helps to repair your DNA and put it back to its original blueprint. The 963 at the top of the scale is your God source connection, your pineal cleansing. But along the way, there are frequencies that are known to detoxify the body, and one that removes negativity. And, you know, if you look up the frequencies, you can find out what that frequency does to the human body. This is all mapped and well researched, and you can go online and download from Spooky 2. They have a wonderful list. It's pretty comprehensive that you can find online. And I printed it out, and it was like 21 pages long of frequencies. And so you can look up abdominal pain, or you can look up hearing loss, or cataracts, or glaucoma, or macular degeneration. You can look up hypertension and find a frequency that is known to help with that condition. So it's real easy to find that information, or you can buy programs that have it all pre-installed and take all the fun out of learning what those frequencies. I love this stuff. As I've done it manually and had a lot of people come to me and get on the table, I do the nursing process. I can't stop doing what I've done for 45 years. I take a history and I find out what's bothering them and what their medical conditions have been, what they perceive to be a problem that they need help with. And then I go to my Rife frequencies and I piece together the ones that I feel that are the most beneficial for them. And I will use muscle testing, and I'll ask them to do the same, to, ask their higher source of what they feel is going to be most beneficial. There's no hard and fast rules, and what's good for one person is often, doesn't work for another. So you have to play around with it. But I started seeing all these repeating patterns of certain frequencies that really were amazing for, like, the neuropathies and getting your feeling back and being able to relieve pain. I recently moved, and I had to pick up 60-pound boxes of books and my dresser and things I was picking up all by myself, and I had back spasms from it. And I just put on 174 and ran that 10 minutes, and then I flipped it to 727 for inflammation. And in 20 minutes, my back spasms were gone. And the next day I was able to go out and finish moving and continue lifting heavy things without any pain at all. And I did that in 20 minutes.
Wow.
So,
love it.
You can do anything with frequency. It has no limits.
Yeah. What's the longest you can lay? Like, say, if you're a seasoned person that's been doing it for
who you are, yeah.
Yeah. So how many minutes? Like you say, 3 hours, 5 hours.
Record.
No, I had one lady in Tennessee. She slept on it all night. So
yeah.
I was going to ask that. That's what I would be doing.
Well, first time I got around it, I was in the field for 3 solid hours, and I didn't have any negative effects at all. Although my hair got a little blonder, it really was noticeably lighter.
Wow.
And and the chronic pain that I had for 3 months from a calcium deposit on my foot, the pain went away from that, and it's been 4 years now, and it's never come back. I was around a plasma type med bed, and that pain went away, and it's never come. I still have the calcium deposit, but I do not have pain from that source any longer. So, I had gone through heavy metal poisoning as a nurse. I had to take 103 vaccines over my 45-year career.
Oh my
I had severe disabling, multiple chronic autoimmune conditions, and that include arthritis and breakdown of my joints, and IBS, narcolepsy, brain fog, and ADHD, and allergies.
And a whole host of other stuff.
Yeah,
but the answer was
I figured it out. I got acutely poisoned after a vaccine in 2017 when I got my Fluzone quadrivalent flu shot that fall. And 90 minutes later, I couldn't walk.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did the research and found out that the main ingredient was aluminum. And the second content ingredient was formaldehyde, which is embalming fluid and a carcinogen. So a neurotoxin and a carcinogen had put me into a state where I couldn't walk. I was crying. It was the worst pain I'd ever experienced, more so than childbirth. It was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I had seizures in the arm that was injected. I had my IBS flare up. I was having 15 bowel movements a day. I had tinnitus and couldn't hear from the ringing in my ears, and dizziness from it, and brain fog so bad I couldn't even follow a shopping list or balance my checkbook or read. I couldn't read, and the narcolepsy that I'd had for 15 years of all these chronic vaccines. I was on Provigil and Ambien to regulate my wake-sleep cycles for 15 years. Those drugs stopped working when I got that shot, and so I had all these conditions immediately flare up an hour and a half after that shot. So I knew not to take the COVID shot, but I actually did have a medical exemption written after that incident. And so getting these toxins out of you is really critical. And I took chlorella, just chlorella, and I researched and found Mike Adams' information from the health ranger and how to build up slowly to a chelation level dosage. And that was 2,800 milligrams. And it took 2 weeks to build up to that dosage. And then I maintained it. Nothing happened except for 4 months later. Then I woke up one day and I had no pain. After 40 years of being on prescription drugs, including Cymbalta, Tramadol, Vicodin, NSAIDs, Tylenol, I didn't have the pain anymore. It completely resolved it. And I continued to take it. And over the course of a full year, I reversed my IBS, my sinus allergies went away, my narcolepsy went away, and I got my ability to walk restored, and the chronic pain went away, and I got my life back. It was completely transformative. So I had gone through that. That was so it sent me down the rabbit hole to start looking for other ways to practice nursing that didn't involve giving drugs and toxins and being forced to give vaccines to people. I could no longer ever administer a vaccine to another patient after having suffered that reaction. Knowing that that was a possible outcome, I couldn't do it anymore. My soul wouldn't let me. And so I did the chelation. And it was after that that I encountered a plasma type med bed, and I didn't have any reaction because my body was clean. I had done that chelation and I had gotten the heavy metals out of my body, and I could take the frequency. Yeah. People who have not detoxed to this degree, they might have some symptoms and they need to start out doing 15 minutes and stop. And then wait 4 days to a week and then get on it and build up. But, you know, it will detoxify you itself. So that you know, the sessions on the Tesla table will take care of detoxing everything, not just heavy metals, but parasites and any kind of toxin at all that you're ingesting, radiation, you know, it will detoxify you. But it will take a little time. But if you've already done a lot of chelation therapy, and you're ongoing with that, because you're breathing in aluminum nanoparticulate in the air, and so you're never not exposed to these toxins. Everyone is, and everyone needs to be detoxing. And this table, if you had this in your home, you have your detox regimen right there, always at the availability to keep your body from succumbing to an overwhelming amount of toxins. And so I really preach the detox stuff, I know, but the Tesla table is the cat's meow is the best thing I've ever seen for overall health maintenance of anything I've ever encountered as a nurse over, a long career.
Awesome. She
Yeah.
basically said, "You're the man, Paul." That's what I heard.
Oh,
You the man. You the man, Paul.
And he puts this stuff together in all kinds of different ways. He has devices that use Rife and Tesla coils, and then he has another one that uses terahertz and a Tesla coil, or it uses terahertz and Rife. Or, he mixes and matches stuff, and they all work a little bit differently. And some of them do one thing, like the terahertz device. I think it takes care of pain the fastest. If you have back spasm or muscle cramps in your legs, 3 minutes, it's gone.
Yep, that's what I got. That's what I got back. I'm just stretching my back right now.
There you go.
and he makes one that doesn't have the heat and the blower to it. It just uses the light, and it works just as well. So you can tuck it in the belt of your pants and wear it around while you're walking, and you can do it on the fly or while you're driving your car. He can do anything.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So you're saying you have smaller Tesla products that are more affordable at this point in time, and then after what we call the happy day, more people will be able to purchase the bed for their homes.
Absolutely, there are a lot of things that have similar benefits. Talk about this, Paul.
Yeah, this is a small one, but still, if you brought the light to it, you can see it light up the light.
Oh yeah! Wow.
And so it's what we call the mini Tesla unit, but it has Rife frequencies.
Oh yeah.
And the in and out plate, and then the terahertz. Let me keep it from blinking here. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so
nice.
You got 2 Tesla coils inside of that circuitry. It's also shungite treated, so there's no negative EMFs. It's rechargeable. It's portable. And for people who can't get on and off of massage table, we've had stage 4 cancer patients that have been entered into hospice, and they're in a hospital bed, and you can't put a Tesla coil under a metal bed frame. So they couldn't use the Tesla table, and they got this unit. And a gentleman who had stage 4 prostate cancer just laid that right on his pelvis, and he used it almost morning, noon, and night. And 3 weeks later, he was up walking around gaining weight, and I get a phone call from the distributor who had sold it to him, and she says, does he have to lie to the hospice nurse that he doesn't need the hospital bed anymore? He's afraid they're going to cut off his benefits. And I used to work in some insurance with Anthem Blue Cross, believe it or not. I learned a lot. For 5 years, I did that. And I knew that a hospice order from the doctor means that you have 6 months to live or less. That means you're 6 months to terminal, or they wouldn't write the order. So when they do a hospice contract, you're in a 6-month contract. If at 6 months you are dead, great. If you, in 6 months you are still dying, great, we'll extend it. If at 6 months you're no longer terminal, well, you don't need hospice anymore. So they cancel the contract and they re-enroll you under your medical plan. Okay. So I explained how it works. It's just a shell game with where the bucket of money is that they're pulling the bills that they pay the bills from. Yeah. So I said, no, he doesn't have to lie, because if he gets well, they'll just put him back on medical insurance at 6 months. And he's like, oh, what a relief. I don't have to fake it. So the hospice nurse comes over and he tells her, you know what, I don't feel sick anymore. And she goes, what's going on? I've never seen this. In a stage 4, they had given him the 3-week survival. That was his prognosis. And so she tells the hospice doctor, and he goes, huh. And he calls up the oncologist that referred him to hospice, and they have a talk, and they said, well, let's bring him back in and retest him. And at 3 weeks out, he had no detectable cancer. And he had been stage 4 and given a 3-week survival, and now he has no detectable cancer from using that mini box, I assume, because in hospice, they terminate all of your life-prolonging medications. They will only give you antiemetics for nausea control or pain remediation. They don't give you a lot of drugs that are meant to correct your blood pressure or treat any other conditions. You know, they'll do what will help you stay comfortable, but the other drugs all get discontinued when you enter into hospice. And so he wasn't getting ongoing chemotherapy and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if the mini Tesla helped him get better or not. Do you, Paul? I think it just made him have homeostasis in his body. Took care of the cancer. That's what happened.
Wow.
Okay, well, we've got several thousand people waiting to ask questions, so we better not hog all the time here.
Oh, okay.
All right. No pressure. No pressure at all.
I like this front row seat, so I can ask what I want.
That's right.
But okay, so Jay's gonna be the host, and we're gonna open it up, and we're gonna do Q&A right on Rumble. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna do Q&A. We have Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and locals. So if you guys can just put your questions in the comments, I can see all that. So here's one. Let me see. I got one right here.
Okay. Are you taking any kind of break, or are you just going to start?
Do they look like they need a break? They got so much energy in their house. You guys don't have to pay no electricity bill.
All right. So I'm going to go off camera in order for them to have a bigger screen and be up close and personal.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you.
All right, now the real party starts.
Oh.
No, I'm just joking. All right, let me get. She's gonna turn her mic on and start. Hey, what do you say? What?
Jay, you're gonna just take my screen off. Are you gonna do
You
that?
look like a little eyeball talking. All right, I'll remove you. Bye. I got the power. I got the Tesla power.
Oh yeah.
All right. So she said, okay. Let me see. I'm just checking over here. So there's a bunch of questions on the chat. So what was the best way? Okay. What's the best way to structure water? What it would be your thinking on that, on the water to like
put it in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a horseshoe magnet. Is like the table. You got your the head and the feet. So if you take the water right in the center, which is the sweet spot, that's where you would structure your water.
Okay.
That's situated directly over the top of the 12-pointed star. That's the 0 energy point. If you want to flash that picture of the toroidal field, that center point is where all the energy goes back through the middle, and it, it's going to get the most powerful frequencies if you center it on the table. And it only takes, what, 2 minutes to
Yeah, I wouldn't do it any more than 2 minutes because some of the research,
research?
research. If you go over 2 minutes, then it's like the glass gets entangled with the fluid. So
Is that why the glass will break?
It could be.
yeah.
The terahertz device, and I blew up my glass dispenser.
Oh my God.
I was like blowing it for 20 minutes. I shouldn't have done that. But
All
on
right.
the table, I've never blown anything.
They say
up.
1 minute,
1 minute.
Yeah, and
It's really fast.
yeah, to put a frequency into the water.
Yep, I got a next one. It says right on the screen, do these frequencies help our pets?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a story about that in Dahlonega, Georgia. A lady had spent over $4,000 taking their dog to the vet and was not getting the results. And so she brought it to the table, and now the dog jumps out of the car, runs to the table, and waits for somebody to lift it up to go on the table.
Wow. All right, that's awesome. Well, next question. Will it fix my mom's knees? They're bone on bone.
Well, my question is the body designed to restore itself? And, well, what do you think?
Well, I can elaborate a little bit. If you take supplements to enhance your production of stem cells, and things like Ace-Mannin, the X39 LifeWave patches are photonic, and they reflect your ability to make stem cells back into your body. Or you can take Alivea Immune is a capsule with Ace-Mannin in it that's made from cactus, and they did their own clinical trials. The Alivea company, they spent $10 million doing their own clinical trials because they couldn't produce any animal deaths in the studies, and the FDA won't grant you a clinical trial if you don't have an animal death model. And no matter how much of the product they gave the mice, they didn't die. So you couldn't overdose them. So this is a very safe substance, but it was proven with their clinical trial that they did on their own that it increased your stem cell production by an average of 377%. So it was a range from 300 to 400, but the average was 377. So you can triple, almost quadruple the amount of stem cells your body creates by taking this supplement, just by taking these capsules. And you can't overdose on it, okay? So if you want to regrow your cartilage in your knees to get rid of this bone-on-bone issue, it's going to take time, because it takes at least a month to start growing tissue when you are starting from the stem cell, point. So I wouldn't expect an instant miracle. Again, this is not a cure for anything, but your body will regrow, and you can enhance the ability to correct these problems by taking supplements that are synergistic with what the table can do. And the table will help generate nitric oxide and increase the stem cell production on its own. PEMF alone has many clinical trials. You can go to PubMed or NIH.gov, which is where all of the medical people go for their clinical trials and proven research that doctors and nurses will go to find out facts, and put in PEMF, any condition, arthritis, and find what the research says about the benefits of using these two therapies together. So while PEMF alone is not exactly the Tesla table, it certainly is a component of it. The Tesla table amps it up even better. So I would think that, definitely it could help with the arthritis, but it's going to take time. That
Okay.
damage occurred over a long period of time.
Next question.
All right. I have in incisional hernia and do not want to have surgery, would this system fix the hernia? Fix it. Have you guys ever had samples of that or examples?
Well, we have quite a few therapists that have miraculous results, but we don't always get to hear it. You know, we're the manufacturer of the device, but we don't treat people with it, you know.
There's other ways you can remove scar tissue, and like terahertz would break up scar tissue, or other frequency type devices like acoustic wave. But the pain from an incisional hernia certainly could be remediated by using the Tesla table, because it reduces inflammation, and that's what causes pain. All pain is caused by inflammation. So if you can resolve inflammation, it will get rid of the pain. It's not going to make the bulge go away, but it could help with quality of life and symptoms.
Okay. All right. Can we do away with all of our supplements if we start using the bed? Or
I'm not. I'm going to put my supplements on the input plate and compound them, actually.
is there, okay. Is there, I mean, just with the supplements thing, is there like, yeah, sometimes I've heard that supplements have bad stuff in for different, yeah. So if you put the bad supplement on to that frequency spot, would it transfer the bad, or does it take the bad out of it and uses the good?
Well, that's a pretty good question, because over in Russia, they would put IV bottles on the right plate and put the medicine on the left plate. And what was so amazing to them was when they took the IV bottle and took it to their client and their patient, it had the same results as the medicine. But what was so shocking to them, there was no side effects.
No side effects. So it took it out of there.
Yeah.
So, wow. So you answered my question. Wow. That makes sense, because it takes the bad out and puts a good frequency. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Paul, that's awesome. Next one. How long can you take activated charcoal? Can you take it every day?
I'll speak to that. The charcoal is going to suck everything out of you. So if you are taking vitamins, it's going to take those vitamins and bind them, and you'll excrete them in your stool, and they won't be absorbed. So it's like not having taken anything at all. So if you want to take activated charcoal on a daily basis, you would probably get up and take it first thing in the morning and wait 2 hours minimum before you would take your supplements. Because if you try to take them at the same time, you're going to negate the effect of it, because it's just going to bind to it and make it pass through unused. I'd only use activated charcoal if I need to detox. If my dogs are acting sluggish, like they don't feel well, I will give my dogs activated charcoal, and within an hour they're perked up and they're ready to eat and run around and play again. It's amazing how many times we get a headache because we've been exposed to some toxin. And you can take an activated charcoal and that headache will go away. So I use it as a medicine for when I feel some kind of symptoms and I think, oh, I've gotten into something that my body doesn't like and I want to get it out. I don't take activated charcoal every day because it does negate the nutrients in your food and it will neutralize the supplements you're taking.
Okay. All right, next question. What about metal joints in your body or metal screws and plates?
Well, I had quite a few people that had metal screws in their ankles and their knee and metal plates in their back, and they loved it because it took away the inflammation and made them feel much better.
I have a total knee, a total hip, a C6, 7, and a L45. I have titanium in 4 places in my body, and I can go for hours on the table, so it doesn't harm me. We have a friend who has an implanted automatic defibrillator, and he can go an hour, and he doesn't have any side effects from it.
Wow. Awesome. All right. Next question. I got an assistant pushing the questions up. It's awesome. What locations are these machines available now for treatment?
Quite a few of them in now Knoxville, Tennessee. There's a Sweetwater, Tennessee, and quite a few of them in around Sarasota. I mean, not Sarasota.
Naples,
Yeah, in Naples, there's several of them in Naples.
St. Pete,
and North Carolina. There's some. Michigan, Vermont, yeah, and we have some out west too. Texas. There's
Costa Rica,
around Austin, Texas. We have some there.
He'll ship anywhere in the United States, or even if we needed to Europe, you could ship it.
Yeah, we got some in the Caribbean.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, Paul has a website where you can actually purchase this online, and it'll be shipped to you. But then you have to put it together. So we spend a lot of time assisting and coaching people, and doing videos and whatever, or even traveling to help them set things up. And Paul's very responsive with that. And you give a 5-year guarantee.
Yes, 5-year guarantee. Yes.
So if say we're going to order like 100 of them today, would you be able to fill that order or no?
It takes a while.
Well, probably within 6 months.
Okay, 6 months. Okay, so I just wanted to get so the people understand. Okay, he's got to make them, and then he's gonna. So it's not like I got a 500 of them in the back shed.
Right, we're about like 4 weeks behind right now.
Okay, all right.
Well, his son and he operate the business and have a staff that helps them, but it's like a one-man show. It's not a big automated production line. They hand make each unit as the orders come in for now.
All right. Next question. Where can I get a chart or list of which frequencies is needed for different illnesses like Parkinson's?
Well, you can always go to the download the Spooky program, the Spooky 2. It's free, and also there's one called Falcon that we have. We got that.
It's much more complicated, but it has it'll list 8 different frequencies that are ideal for targeting colon cancer, for example.
Yeah. You guys heard of the Z app?
Pre-calculated Falcon.
Falcon is one, and then what about the Z app? You guys heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
It's like you can go on there, and like when I'm driving, sometimes it tells you like, okay, you got inflammation back, whatever. You just click on it, and it has a list of the frequencies, and it's called the Z app. You can download it too. So I guess, yeah, Z app. I think one of the other doctors that was on the show, they said the Z app. So
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, we need to check in.
Yeah, I will look into that.
See, you learned something from Jay. You learned something from Jay. All right.
No, is that I don't know.
I learned way more from you guys tonight, so don't worry. All right, next question. Do you know any frequency device that can kill mold in your home?
Yeah, I mainly go for the industrial ozone, and just gotta not have your pets in the house and just run that.
Or you.
Yeah, or people, yeah, and run a good, strong industrial ozone.
How long do you have to run it?
You can just run it for maybe 4 or 5 hours. They'll take care of it.
And then you have to air the place out and put on some fans, open the windows, and it'll clear in
Yeah.
How
and
long would you need to wait before
Yeah,
you can safely go back in the house?
Yeah, ozone is very unstable, so it'll dissipate pretty fast.
Okay.
So like 5 minutes or so if you
Yeah.
have fans blowing.
Right.
But you can't breathe ozone. It's harmful to breathe it. So
Okay.
you
And
have
is
to
that like a
put it
frequency?
away.
Is that frequency, or are you talking like ozone is what? Is like a
It's a gas. It's
oh, okay.
ozone. There are these ozone generators that you can get off of eBay, and you just have to choose one of them that gives you a good strong ozone output. But we do have people that use the table as remote healing, and the way they do that, they take a sample, the hair sample or fingernails.
Yep.
And put them on the table, or even a signature. I had some people
And a photo.
a photograph and do remote healing with it. And a lady in St. Pete, she does that all the time and gets incredible results.
Yeah, it's hard to get an appointment with her. She's really doing a lot of good work.
Yeah.
But also, you can take a picture of the room that you want to get rid of the mold and find a frequency for it and just transmit that frequency. We'll see.
Well, you can just pray and use your intentions, and you can transmute this stuff too.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
We have a lot of tools.
I noticed that glass of water was I mean, it was glass, so you don't use plastic, right?
We try not to.
Okay, try not to use plastic. Okay. Next question. Can the mini be used to structure water? That small one that you showed?
Yes. In fact, it has a in and out plate, so you can structure water with the middle.
So,
one, yeah.
And you can duplicates and make your own homeopathics with it.
So you put the what intention you want on the in, and then whatever else you want to fill on the out. Is that correct?
Right. You can put like a sample of vitamin C here.
Okay.
And water over here, and it does a transfer within a minute or two.
Yeah.
And
that'll save you a lot on your supplements.
Mm-hmm.
I even have some therapists, when they don't have the proper remedy, they just write down the name of the remedy, put it on the end plate,
Wow.
and get it.
Paul, can we put money on that one side?
Yeah.
I love it.
Paul, put $100 bill on that one side.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see what happens. All right. That's so cool. I think it would work. I'm gonna put a couple $100 bills.
Sure.
I'm gonna try that as we get on.
Yeah, go ahead.
we won't. How come they're not answering the emails? Oh, they went to Fiji somewhere. Yeah. All right. Next question. Will the bed help with spinal stenosis?
It's inflammation, yeah. And so it's going to reduce the inflammation because it's going to enhance your lymphatic drainage and get those toxins out of there, reduce the inflammation source. And so it's not going to make your joint stable if you have an unstable joint, that will continue to be an issue. But the pain that you have with that spinal stenosis can definitely be remedied.
All right. Next question. How much is the mini Tesla box, and does it take a long to get? All right. So here comes the how much questions. You can divulge any information you want, or you can have them contact you.
Yeah, you just have to go to the website, because if I quote prices, my son will take me to the woods.
Here you go.
I was trying to give discounts, but it's on the website for $4,500.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, it is. And it takes how long to build?
They're already on the shelf.
Oh, you have a surplus. Okay.
Okay. So the mini, that's the mini.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on if they want priority shipping.
All right. Okay. All right. Next question. How do I order a mini unit? Okay. Go to website. How far will the frequency travel in distance? Example, I go to the EE systems, and some of them can reach a distance of 2 miles. So will work for this entire home if I have the mini?
The mini one? Yeah, there's always that. I call it the subtle energies that can't be measured, except some people use they use a pendulum or muscle testing to see how far it goes out, and we haven't really done that. But we do have some pretty sensitive instruments, and it's like 15 feet in radius that you can actually hear the frequency coming from the mini Tesla unit.
Okay, so about 15 feet.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then the website is called vitalcreationsinc.com, and
Yeah,
there's
here
a
it is.
QR code.
It's on the bottom. Yep, it's on the bottom too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll try to post a QR code. I have a picture of the QR code, so after the show, I'll try to get that up too, so people can scan their 60 hertz phones and try to get that. All right, next question. Name of the place in St. Pete, Florida. You said there's one in
It's
Florida?
in a private home.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
it's a
why
private.
she's busy too.
Yeah.
But
She probably would let us give her phone number out.
Yeah. Well, here's what we can do. If you guys want to create a list for all of our viewers, we'll get that over to Tressie, and if you guys can make a list of anyone that volunteers their information that would like to be on the list, we could post that list on the Telegram page and all of our social medias, so that everyone would have a copy of where they could go if they were close enough. If you guys are okay with that.
sure.
Yeah. And we respond to emails and texts, and if you go to our websites, you can reach us through there, and
Okay.
we'll answer questions and redirect you to people in your area.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Has there been any help for someone with dementia?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
We have had people that regained their ability to talk, like in one session.
Wow. Like literally talking, never
Yeah.
talked.
No, a Parkinson's guy who was nonverbal regained his ability to talk after being on the table for just 15 minutes. I know someone who has a plasma type med bed that's not Paul's, but it is a plasma type med bed, and he worked with autistic kids, and he had one boy who recovered his speech after doing 2 1-hour sessions. So PEMF is known to, there's studies on this. So yeah, you can regain speech, you can improve cognition, and enhance rehab post-stroke. Yeah, and the memory is part of that. Yeah, so
Okay.
absolutely, it increases your blood flow. So if you can enhance blood flow up to 30%, I know like the Beamer mat is an example that they have clinical trials showing, a 30% enhanced blood flow with that. So if you have reduced blood flow and you can increase it by 30%, you're going to see an improvement in cognition and memory.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay, next question. How many times do you have to use the table generally to see improvement, and how long does it last? Do you guys have like an average of or just taking averages from other people and stuff?
Well, there's a clinic in New York and also in Atlanta, Georgia, and their protocol is 1 hour, 3 times a week for 12 weeks. And they're clearing up so many major things, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, there's a naturopath who works with an oncologist, and she uses the Tesla table as an adjunctive therapy. And that's her protocol is 1 hour, 3 times a week for 12 weeks.
And she has them sign a paper that they will follow through that 12 weeks. And every time she's just so surprised herself.
Wow.
We had 3 of them that dropped out and broke contract because they didn't have any detectable cancer, so they stopped going.
Wow.
before the 12 weeks.
Yeah, and then the one for maintenance that had Parkinson's disease, she stopped shaking in 12 weeks, and then she actually bought a table for maintenance, and
Wow.
that's for a session maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks.
I had a client here 3 days ago, and she had a hand tremor on one hand, and when she got off the table, she says, "Oh wow, my tremor's gone." So
Wow. That's awesome. All right. Next question. Does the Mini come with a warranty, and how long, if so, it?
Yeah, there's a 5-year warranty on the big system, except for the light bulbs, because they do eventually got to be replaced. It's just like a normal light bulb in your kitchen, But for the mini one, I think my son has a 2-year warranty on it. I'm not sure on that. So, but lots of times, as long as I'm alive, I just repair it. If I'm there, I repair it at the shop and just charge for the shipping.
Okay. Awesome. Wow. Man, this is so cool. All right, we got that. She's giving me a sign that says that's all the questions for now. I guess I can have one last question for. Can you give us an example of something that you experienced using the table, like something that you just were like, oh my gosh, I don't believe it. So can you just give us one example from you guys personally?
Yeah, I usually like to take a nap on it, and so even at the shop, the workers are working around there, and I'm laying on the table, and so I started to get up, and the one worker said, "How comes you're getting up so soon?" I said, "I've been on here for about 45 minutes," and he said, "No, you haven't. You haven't been on it for 5 minutes." I went into a deep, deep sleep, and I'm going, I can't believe I was only on there for less than 5 minutes. I thought it felt like 45 minutes,
Wow.
And then at one time I was on the table and I went into a deep, deep sleep and I had this vivid, vivid dream. And that's another good report that we're getting back is the dream state is so much more vivid.
Oh yeah.
And I had one person look at me and says, my grandpa's sitting over here. And I go, but don't tell anybody. Because it seems to open up their third eye and they start seeing on the other side.
Wow. That's amazing.
A story for one of my clients was an arborist, a tree trimmer. And he came in his lunch break and did a 20-minute session. And he had type 2 diabetes. Had no feeling below his knees, and he had burning pain in his thighs, like if just the air would move the hair on his legs. He said he had burning. After 20 minutes on the table, he's like, wow, I can feel my feet again. And he went back to his job site, and his coworkers, he came back for a subsequent session and told me this. His coworkers all said, what did you do? And he goes, what do you mean? And they said, well, you're walking funny. He goes, I am? And they said, well, no, you usually walk funny, but you're walking normal. So what'd you do? And he goes, oh, it must have been that table. And he realized he didn't have the burning pain anymore either. And he was just so excited to come back and keep going. And he was getting the feeling back in his legs.
Wow. That's so awesome. Oh, yeah, I just got a couple more questions. Is that okay? You guys got enough time?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Has there been help for Meniere's disease and Tourette syndrome?
Well, I think Tourette's would be a good thing because it has to do with cellular communication and inflammation and neurologic issues. So those are the kinds of things that respond very well to it. What's Meniere's disease? Spell it. Oh,
M-E-
Meniere's.
Meniere's, my bad. Sorry.
You know what? My niece got over her Meniere's disease by doing heavy metal chelation, the chlorella protocol that I talked about earlier. It was inflammation, and that got the heavy metals out of her system, reduced the inflammation, and she got rid of her Meniere's because she had been on disability for it and couldn't work
Wow.
because she would puke and get dizzy and fall. So, anyways, it is often a problem with inflammation is at the root of all this stuff. And of course, the Tesla table does reduce inflammation and detoxifies your body. So yes, it does help with that. And there are frequencies that I have encountered in my use of the manual for Meniere's disease. So, I mean, I could target that with the table by the use of the Rife component of the Tesla table.
Okay. Wow. Dang. This is so like mind blowing. I mean, it's awesome. Thank you guys so much. One more. Oh, here's another question. I have a torn retina in one of my eyes. As a result, I've lost vision in that eye. Would a minor or mini or a table be able to give me my vision back?
Well, it would definitely help. In fact, some of the first reports of people saying, well, I can see better now, after a table session. And that was my first experience too, that my eyesight got stronger. And so
there's frequencies for cataracts, for macular degeneration, for glaucoma, for just generally improved visual acuity, hearing loss as well. I mean, all of those things, there's frequencies with Rife that you can use to treat that.
So the larger system, the whole table system, I always recommend that first, because it covers the whole body at one time.
Yeah. Okay, so this next question is from our friend. I know this lady. She's lives in France, and she wants to know: do you ship to France? Thanks. She has a beautiful property. She does healing stuff already, so I exactly know why she's asking. So, do you guys ship to France?
Yes, we ship all over the world. So wherever FedEx or UPS or what's that there?
Amazon.
No.
Oh, you're talking about like the big shipping company, yeah.
Yeah, big shipping company that goes to all these different places. There's one that has kind of a yellow bus.
It starts. I know what you're talking about. We use it when we're overseas. I think it's not Dart. It's starts with a D. Yeah, I can't remember. But they ship everywhere.
Something like that. DLH or something. I forgot.
So there's no restrictions why you couldn't send it to Europe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got some more questions. That was the last one. That was the last question. Let me see if the boss is ready to come back on, because I work for the boss.
Okay.
You ready to come back, boss? She's laying in a Tesla bed right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out. Oh, can you explain like the process? So somebody buys one or whatever, gets it in their house, and they decide, okay, I want to help people, but they paid a lot, whatever, for the machine or whatever. So then they just kind of make their own thing where they have people like come there and then like make a fee or something. I don't even know how it works. Like, is that kind of like what you guys do, or is it just people that want to start businesses also? I mean, it's probably both.
It's not regulated. So, whatever your title is or your genre of your healing methods, you can incorporate it with a lot of different modalities, like massage therapists use the tables. The woman who works with the autistic kids uses it in her practice. Reiki healers, intuitives, people that use biofeedback in conjunction with that.
Yeah, and it depends where you're located. Like the lady in New York, her prices are really high. I go, gosh, are you really getting that much for an hour session? In California, you probably get double. But in Pennsylvania, among the Amish people, they feel real comfortable $1 an hour. I mean, $1 a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just say a flat rate for a 30-minute session. You set your own prices. I mean, it's what your conscious will allow you to do, and what feels right and what the market will support.
Yeah.
But our goal is to get this to as many people as possible, because it's been suppressed, and
Yeah.
I would try to keep the price point as low as possible, but that's me.
Yep. I know. If I had $1 billion, I would send you a whole team, so they could build them. Send you about 1,000 people that want to come to your place and just build them and help and get them out everywhere. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So all right. The boss said, Jay, you're doing a good job. So thumbs up for that. And then she said, loved you guys. You guys are amazing. And she's going to let me close. This is my first time closing. So any last words you guys want to tell everybody that's watching, and just last words for everybody?
Well, yes, be around positive people. And when you find yourself speaking in a negative tone, bite your tongue, and then change it. It keeps saying, I am the pure love of God upon all occasions. At all times, I am pure love.
Mm-hmm.
And
focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And I love a mantra that's always carried me through a lot of things is choose your mood. If you're unhappy, change it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I just want to say thank you very much for you guys giving us your time, and Paul and Sheryl, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you guys, and it's just been amazing, and hopefully we can have you guys back on the show another time. And right. We're just want to let everybody know that we have a trek on Saturdays usually, but we're going to be not having a normal trek on Saturday. We're going to have one on Sunday. It's going to be Tressy's going to be on Mark Abrams' show. We'll have all the information for that. And then after this show, we'll have all the links and everything with our little team we have. We'll have the links for you guys, and get ready for emails. You can send email to Tressy's team. Also, if you guys want more questions, I'm trying to see that message. Tressy's team at protonmail.com. So if you guys get, I'm telling you right now, if you guys get over bombarded with emails, Tressie will help out too. So, and
we're moving this week, so.
Oh, you taking me with you? Where are we going?
We're going to Crystal River.
Woo! Oh man, that sounds. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Manatees.
So. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing for the show, and you guys are amazing. And until next time, stay positive. Stay positive.
Yes.
Be the light.
All right. Be the light. I like that. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.